In the brutal podcast system, any jackass with a microphone and internet connection can pose as an expert on any topic under the sun. Fortunately, however, there exists a humble duo of said jackasses who at least aspire to minimize the effects of the current egregious level of aforementioned fake-ass horseshit and those who perpetrate it. This duo attempts this very noble task by allowing you, the listener, to have total unimpeded access to the real minutia of their pathetic everyday lives. This two-member task force is known deep within the podcast world as Zero Front. These are their stories.
Welcome back to another edition of SeanMatthew's podcast. I'm here with my co-host Joe. How you doing today, buddy?
Shawnee went to the gym and now he's real brawny. I'm doing pretty good, brother. It's sometimes it's a little rough this time of year, and the older you get, the more memories you have and this and that. But it's always cool. It's always cool. I'm not a Scrooge or anything like that, but it's kind of nice that Christmas is done and it's still quote unquote the holidays. So we could still lay back a little bit and it's all good. It's neat. How you been?
Not bad, man. I'm pretty much finished with my work week because I have a different schedule now.
Right.
So I'm feeling pretty nice, man. I got a nice couple days off here. A nice little like mini vacation coming up. Um, Tonight, instead of going to the gym after work, I was like, you know what? Let me just rest, and then tomorrow because I've been getting a lot of sleep. I'll get more sleep tonight, then I'll just do what I got to do tomorrow. I got to do triceps, I got to do chest, I got to do shoulders. So I'm thinking like, do I just combine?
Yeah.
This is just gym talk. I think I'm just going to combine. I think I'm just going to combine triceps and chest, and then Friday I'm going to do back and shoulders together because I usually just do one muscle a day. But that's enough gym talk. Anyway, instead of going to the gym tonight, I stopped at Wendy's and I utilized their app, and I got myself two Dave singles for the price of one, using their app. And then I bought this, like last week, I bought this thing called the Frosty Key Tag. It's good until the end of 2024. It enables you to go there anytime you want and get a free junior Frosty.
I
And
knew it. You'd had to buy one of those. You got every little coupon for every little. If you buy 17, you get your 18th free, and you get this, but it can only be 8 ounces because of 10 ounces they don't fit into the sale. All that shit drives me nuts. But God bless you. You love those things, and you
yeah,
use them. I've seen you.
it was for a good cause. It was only $3. $3 for, think about this. The junior Frosty usually costs $1.50 each.
Right.
For $3, you can get a free junior Frosty every time.
Yeah.
It's also good for the whole year. And also the $3 goes to charity. It goes to like adoption. I think that like some sort of adoption agency or something like that.
Right.
Um,
But you messed around and got something like this from Taco Bell, and what you admitted to was
yeah,
that you wound up
that's
going
what,
back there every time. Yeah, it
yeah,
brings you back. It's smart. It's clever. But
that's
it
what I want to
nevertheless,
transition.
yeah.
When I had that nacho fries pass for those 30 days, dude, I probably got nacho fries. Probably, I would say out of 30 days, I probably got nacho fries at least 13 days. I would guess.
What are they?
The nacho fries.
What I've never heard of that. What? No, I'm fucking with you. I'm
But anyway,
fucking with you because of what we went. I
so
should tell everybody that I messed around and had some. But go ahead.
yeah, you finally tried the nacho fries. So what's the verdict on that?
And the verdict is, I preface this by saying I always said I was going to try them. I just wasn't going to run right out and try them just because you. So, but you stayed on me and stayed on me, and eventually I did. But they're slamming. They are absolutely slamming, and this cheese that goes with them is tremendous. And I get them now instead of a fifth taco. I get four tacos, and I get the regular size is adequate. I got regular the first time, then I got a large. The regular is adequate, and it leaves me enough cheese in that cup just to mess around and dunk the taco, the ends of the taco, just the end. Every time I open a taco, I dump the first bite before I bite. I dunk the end in there, and it just works out well. But
Yeah, that's
it's
my
good.
only
It's good.
that's my biggest gripe with the nacho fries, especially the large.
Hmm.
They don't give you a lot of cheese. I'm pretty much done with the cheese by the time I'm on the last quarter of my fries. And the
Right.
problem is, while I'm eating the fries, I'm consciously choosing to put less cheese on each fry because I know I only have a finite amount of cheese. It really is a small cup. So I'm really surprised that you get the large ones, I think you said. Um, and
I
you
got the large once.
okay, you got the large the first time. Okay.
No, no, I got the large the second time. I got the regular. I thought it was the small. But I said small. They just gave me the regular. There is no small really. But I said small. I want to try them. She goes, okay, cool. And I tried them. I was like, that's good, good. And I said, damn, I have a little of this cheese left over too. And I could mess around and dunk my tacos in there a little bit. Then the next week, I got the large, right? As opposed to the regular, quote unquote. And they were good. And I found they were a little more than I actually needed because it's sort of like an appetizer for me when I go there. It's a little more than I needed. And it was, of course, there wasn't as much cheese left over. Now, I could have walked up to the counter if I really wanted to. But I said, come on, the hell with it. But I just think for me, the way that it fits into my meal and everything, that regular size is just right. But for a fry, they are different. They're not too hot that they're going to burn, give me heartburn. They got some flavor and they got a nice texture on the outside. It's crispy on the outside, but it immediately gets real soft when you bite into it. That I can dig. I do not need French fries that are like sticks. That I don't want. So they're really nice. I mean, that being said, um, I just messed around last night because it's the holidays. I told you I got myself an extra cheat day. I just went to Five Guys last night, man. Those fries are just they're still unparalleled. But that being said, I tried the elusive nacho fries, and they are good. I would say I apologize, but I don't owe you an apology. I just didn't want to try them right away. That's all that was. But you were getting all kinds of twisted about it. I told you. It was funny though. But nah, it's good. It's good, man. It's all good. So we got New Year's Eve coming up.
Yeah, man. New Year's Eve's coming up. It's gonna be a brand new year. This year kind of flew, man. It just kind of like
Didn't
it's
it?
like it seems like yesterday that the Eagles were playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, man.
Why'd you
Uh,
have to bring that up, man?
well, because I want to talk a little Eagles a little bit.
I still have nightmares about that phantom holding bullshit. Let's appease Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Let's give them It's funny thing is I still remember saying to you a week before. I said, Johnny, I just hope it's not close because if it's close at the very end, it's not a question as if it's a question of which bullshit call are the refs going to give Andy and Patrick to help them win. And I'm not Nostradamus. You don't have to be. But a week before the Super Bowl, I said that to you. And lo and behold, that's what happened. I tell Bradbury, kid, you did nothing wrong. Don't you change a goddamn thing. You did nothing wrong. And that team knows they were better. We know we were better than that team, but that's the way life goes. But anyway, I've said that. That was last year. This year, I'll admit, this football team is an average football team right now. And they've been that way all year. And if they don't get much better, much you know, if they don't get much better very quickly, they're going to be, playing golf early. That's it.
Yeah, I was surprised on Sunday. The Giants are clearly not going to make the playoffs, but Sunday they were technically still in the playoff race, even though it was way, probably had like less than like a 5% chance. But for some reason, Coach Brian Daboll pulled Tommy DeVito. And that to me was a little bit strange because it's like, do they want to see if this guy's the future quarterback? They got to see what this guy has. We already know what Tyrod Taylor can do. So that to me, because he didn't throw an intercept. I know he wasn't like throwing the ball downfield a ton. He was just doing what he defense gave him and stuff.
Right.
But he hadn't thrown an interception, so I was just confused. Like you were watching. I was at my family's house for Christmas, so I couldn't lock into the game as close as I wanted to. But like, did Tommy DeVito did he do something? Was he like what? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think he did, but I think he was just stale. And I think what happened was the head coach, he finally came to the realization, I'm not making the playoffs anyway. And with, I think, with Jalen throwing that ball, I'm not going to say it wasn't Jalen's fault. He threw the ball to the tight end. The tight end slipped. I think it was Goddard. It was either Goddard or the backup tight end, but the tight end slipped. He straight up slipped. He slipped down. He reached up to try to make some kind of a play. He batted the ball even higher up into the air. And the Giants defensive back had the ball on the run with nobody in front of him. And it was a pick six. And I think from that moment, I think that coach, and I'm not sure when he replaced DeVito, but I think at some point that coach thought, holy shit, we might be able to win this fucking thing here. I don't know what's going on. We might be able to win. So I think what he did was I threw in Tyrod Taylor as a change of pace. Like now I got a quarterback that's a little mobile, and you weren't even prepared for him. So just maybe, you know, that's what I think happened. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we ever really talked about Tommy DeVito on the show. Like his story is pretty incredible. The guy was like undrafted and like he played 1 year at Illinois. He transferred from where did he transfer from? Do you know?
Bayonne, I guess. I'm not. I don't know where the hell.
He went to like
Perth
I think
Amboy or some shit. I don't know.
Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey. It's a private high school, but
Hey, where the fuck did he come from anyway? Where is he over here? Yeah, DeVito. I don't know. I don't
because
know.
he went to Syracuse. So he went to Syracuse first, then he transferred to Illinois, and that's when he really broke out. Was at Syracuse. No, at Illinois. His senior year in Illinois, 2022.
All right.
He had 15 touchdowns. But my point is, he was like an unsung guy, and he's from New Jersey. He lives like 20. His parents live like 20 minutes from the Giants play, and he lives with his parents. So that became a really big story. And there's all this stuff going on with like his agent. Everyone thought his agent was like really like kind of funny looking. He wore like kind of like a mafia type all black suit with like a top hat and stuff.
Yeah, he was
So
funny looking dude.
he became a media darling. Like he was at the dinner and Aaron Judge saw him eating and Aaron Judge paid for his meal. So he was really like all over the news. And then that's why I was surprised that Dayball did that. It was like, well, they're selling jerseys. There's a lot of hype around the Giants really for no reason. And um, they're benching the guy. I just thought it was I think you just explained your rationale pretty well. Dayball thought that he had a chance to win and then he kind of went with it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. But
Yes, sir.
one thing I want to say, because I ate when I ate Wendy's tonight, I always put ketchup on my plate and I dip my cheeseburgers in ketchup. But
Mm-hmm.
the problem is I'm bad at estimating how much ketchup I need. Like I'll put like too much ketchup on the plate. I'll finish the cheeseburger and there's like a whole, you know, big thing of ketchup on my plate. It's like I'm just bad at estimating the amount of ketchup I need. What
Right.
about you? Are you like good at it, or you just do you underestimate, overestimate?
Uh, it- it's been a minute since I've been in I had told you I went to Five Guys last night, and that's atypical for me. It's a holiday, so I got myself an extra cheat day, right? But that's the first hamburger that I've eaten in months, and I don't remember. What I do remember is with regard to Five Guys, when I go there, I get two of those cups and use one of the cups for my fries, right? And I use the other cup basically for the burger. And you and I discussed this before on the show, but that first you get the burger and you don't get you don't get much of the burger into that cup when it's okay. But after you take that first bite, now you're in business because now you got a built-in hook. You know what I mean? But no, I'm dunking that thing in there left and right, and I don't have any problem with proportionality estimation. So it is what it is. But you know what, man?
Oh, then
It's
I tried a couple weeks ago. I tried a Big Mac. I never had a Big Mac my entire life. I tried a Big Mac. Dude, it is so overrated, man.
back in the day when I was a kid, though, the Big Mac they had the commercial. Two old beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. They even made like a song out of it. That's how two old beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. It was just like but I'm going back when I was a kid, right? So this is like 40 years ago that this thing first came out. And when it first came out then, that was a hell of a fast food hamburger, Sean. But now, yeah, time has passed it by. I mean, the Wendy's Baconator. I mean, that, that's
Well,
that's
the thing about the Big Mac though, it's like it's a jip. I think it's just as much as a quarter pounder, but they don't actually use the quarter pounder uses fresh, never frozen patties.
mm,
But the Big Mac, I believe, is just basically equivalent to a double cheeseburger with an extra bun in the middle.
but
And the thing about it is they put lettuce on it. They put Big Mac sauce is good, but when I ate it, it was really messy. And like I was having trouble keeping the whole thing together. Like everything was getting all over the place. Um, I don't know. I gotta be honest. The Big Mac to me is the most overrated fast food item there is, man.
oh, and perhaps it is, but I could tell you that Burger King, and I haven't been there in a minute. I'm going to mess around, I think, soon and go. But Burger King, believe it or not, I mean, they come out with, well, they have their own version of, they have their own version of that sandwich you just talked about. But they also come up with these Italian sandwiches, the chicken sandwiches, and they have every once in a while they come out with something and I want to get over there before they stop running it. But it's like this thick Texas bread and these big patties in between. And they have a couple different flavors. One is just, straight up bacon. The other one is whatever, Swiss and something else or whatever. But they're on this thick grilled Texas bread. And every once in a while but they run stuff like that. So that's one thing about Burger King that's different. And I'm going to tell you, Burger King desserts, some of those little Hershey pies, you buy them in the cardboard wedges already and just you rip the top off and it's like you got this chocolate pie that's like unbelievable. Oh, some of those are tremendous. I'm going to mess around and go to Burger King soon now that we're talking about this stuff, man. But no,
Yeah,
they all have different things that are good, Sean. Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
yeah. I don't think Burger King has anything equivalent to a Big Mac. They have the Whopper and the Double Whopper, but the Big Mac is a whole. The reason
Whopper is what I was thinking of. Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, but like they don't. None of them have like all those Whoppers and stuff. I believe just have two buns, but the Big Mac just has like a bun in between. It's like a half. It's like two buns, right? The top and the bottom, and then the middle they put that there. It's like an extra. It's like extra bread you don't really need. I just think the Big Mac is just a crock of shit, to be honest. But anyway, um, yeah. So
In its time, it's like an old car. In its time, Shawnee, it had a real good place. But go ahead.
I saw an interesting story, man. The Dolphins punter, um, his last name is Bailey, and he's engaged to a girl with the first name Bailey. So they're getting married, and his new wife her name is gonna be Bailey Bailey.
Hmm, that's pretty cool, bro. The only way
That's
to
gonna be
top that off is you just go the whole 9 yards and change her middle name. Billy, Billy, Billy. Um,
I saw something
so
else that was crazy too, man. Brock Purdy, Arch Manning, which is Eli and Peyton's nephew. He's their brother's kid. He plays for Texas. He
right.
makes about $3 million a year through endorsement deals. And Brock Purdy doesn't even make $1 million a year, man. It's crazy that an MVP candidate he's not going to be MVP anymore. Obviously, that game versus the Ravens was bad, but an MVP candidate on the 49ers, right? Starting quarterback makes less money than a college player who hasn't even, started a game yet. It's crazy.
Well, well, the first part of it is that any college player, I mean, I'm glad the college players are getting something rather than starving like they were for, most
I
of.
have no problem with the players getting paid. My problem is that, this guy's a starting quarterback for the 49ers. I know he's still on his rookie deal and stuff, but it's just wild to think that like a dude who I know listen, it's a man, it's a member of the Manning family. He's supposed to be really good. I get it. But it just shows you that the NFL has, there's, I don't know. It's just obviously Purdy has to prove himself. He has to work himself into a contract, but
Thank you.
it's just wild. It's just wild to think that starting quarterback for 49ers is getting, he's making less money than a guy who hasn't played it down yet. Or well,
Yeah,
he played a couple downs, Arch Manning, but he hasn't started a game yet.
he
So
has.
it's just crazy to think about. Say his name wasn't Manning, right? Say
That's
just
the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
but say it's another college player who's no, but say he's making other college players are making just as much too. Maybe not 3 million in their first year, but it's just crazy that Purdy's not getting, as much as a college player. It's just wild.
Well, I can see it though on the other end. I can see it, and I can see Purdy only making a minute. First of all, he's a rookie, so he's more of a second year guy, right? And he was Mr. Irrelevant. All right, he's going to have to build his way back up. He got knocked out of the game last year when the Eagles tomahawked his ass, and they bitch and moan about that. But hey, protect your quarterback, and he won't get knocked out. So they knocked it, and so this year he's doing better. But I'm going to explain something to you. You've got one of the best, if not the best, left tackle in football there. You got a good line that protects him very well. You've got an offense that's run heavy, and you got a defense that's a bunch of rough riders. I mean, all this cat has to do is drop back, plant his foot, and throw about an 11-yard pass most of the time. So I don't think he's all that necessarily. I don't think he's a scrub, but I don't. You said MVP candidate. He was a candidate for MVP. No more. And I think he has to work his way through. And I think if he's making $1 million a year, that's what guys like him make. So I don't see that. But on the other end,
Not like
a college player to make 3 million. Let me just say, finish. A college player to make 3 million is kind of heavy. But I can't help but think that his last name is helping. If the guy's last name was Mayhav or something, I could say, what the hell? But since his name is Manning, endorsements and stuff, right? I mean, those guys that's what they are. They're walking endorsements. So it doesn't really surprise me. I do think it just makes you say, huh, how about that? That kind of thing. But I don't
yeah.
think it's a big shocker to me, but it's
Yeah.
you know.
So I saw this thing on Reddit. I go on Reddit, and Reddit has some of the most interesting stories that you'll ever read because it's real people just describing their lives and stuff. And there's all different subreddits and all sorts of interesting stuff to read about. You could just go down rabbit holes on Reddit for hours and hours. But I saw something about a guy he was like 6 months away from his pension. We talked about this a little bit. He was 6 months away from his pension, and his boss started figuring out ways to try to get rid of him before he can get his pension.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me
One of the
that.
final things the boss did was he called him into his office. He's like, we're receiving excessive complaints about you have body odor. We're gonna have to warn you. And the guy said, he showers every day, he washes his clothes. This is just the boss's bullshit way of trying to screw him out of his pension. And then I was reading the Reddit and people were giving him good responses like, yeah, you got to get a lawyer, you got to do this, you got to protect yourself. This is horrible. And some guy gave him all like good rationale and reasons on what to do. And then he said, long game, Stinky, long game. Like he made a joke. I know I was dying laughing. You hear what I'm saying? He said, long game, play the long game, Stinky. Like he was calling him
Gotcha,
Stinky as a joke.
gotcha,
I thought that
gotcha.
was pretty fucking funny, man.
It is. It was all right. It was pretty good stuff.
But
Oh Lord.
what's your take
Yeah.
on that story, man? Do you think that's crazy that they're trying to get rid of him before his pension?
Well, if that's what they're doing, I mean, if that's what they're doing, then I mean, that's how things happen. That's how people show up and at workplaces and like clean house. I mean, that's how things. If you're going to rob somebody out, if that's now, if the other end of it is, every once in a while you come across a joker somewhere, and it's like it's like what the you feel like saying to him, yo, cuss. When's the last time you
Yeah,
got
you
now I
described the
don't
dude.
know.
What you described the dude in your building, right? Or some
Yeah,
guy. Some
that's
guy.
just there was a yeah that's just an example that I gave you that there was a cat in a guy in my building, probably maybe late 40s early 50s, like shoulder length hair, um dressed in like slacks and like always like a dress shirt but with no tie, like he dressed reasonably and so forth, and he was a Caucasian fella like myself, and not that I mean, it's just giving you a description of the guy, and on the elevator one time, and I get on the elevator and I smell like it's like Jesus. Like then you don't know what you don't want to say anything, and you don't even want to hold your nose, but my eyes were watering by the time the fucking elevator stopped. And he got out, and I just and I thought nothing of it. I thought, man, it's a dude that really needs to learn about hygiene, but he's not my problem. And I would see him in the parking lot from time to time here and there. And I got on the elevator again about 6 months later. I got on the elevator again. There were two other people on there. And this cat was on there. And he goes up to his floor because we were from the ground going up, right? And he goes up to his floor and he gets off there. And when the door shuts, and I made sure, because you could still hear people, I don't want to laugh or anything. It's not funny. I waited a couple of seconds till we started moving up. And I said, man, something smells in here. I think it was, because I don't want anybody to think that, yeah, they both know, they both with their thumbs, they pointed, no, it's, I said, that's a shame though, man. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to laugh. It's not funny, man. You don't want to laugh. And I didn't want him to hear me laughing. You know what I mean? Because that's not right. But it was just one of those things. Now, this was when I first moved into this building. It was like 5, 6 years ago. Hadn't come across him in a couple of years. But about 3 years later, right, about 2 years ago, I get in the elevator with him and nod the head. I nod my head to everybody. How you doing? This and that. And he's fine. There was no So I think maybe somewhere somebody got through to him or something. But what I'm saying is, if this guy that you're referring to in this story is telling, we're hearing his side, that if he's telling the truth and they're trying to mess with him and trying to get him out to jip him out of his pension, then dude, I'm a pretty civil guy, but if you're going to push me that far and try something like that, cause I don't know how I'm going to react. You know what I mean? Now, it's possible that this Joker may be bereft of, proper hygiene techniques. It could be, is all I'm saying. I'd like to hear both stories before I levy some kind of a. My question is, I tend to believe this man because if he's talking about his pension, he's been there a while. If he's been there a while, he's probably had the same hygiene habits for a while. So why didn't you say something to him a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Right? So,
Yeah.
but you never know, Sean. You never know. You got to get all the information before you levy a decision. Hey man, did we do song lyrics now? Don't forget those, man. That's
Yeah.
important
Before
stuff.
we do the song lyrics, I quickly want to mention that yeah, I still have the movie subscription, and yes, I'm still going to the movies constantly. And two of
You
the
like
best movies,
that though. You like it, bro. That's good.
yeah, it's my sanctuary. It's like,
Yes.
I like going to the movies. It's a nice place. I have somewhere to go. I have no problem going by myself. It's just watching a movie. It's not a big deal. And quite frankly, everyone who has jobs and lives and families doesn't have the time to, like, oh, let's go to the movies. Like, so I go on my own schedule and I go when I want to, and it's cool. Anyway,
The recliners they have there now. Holy God.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
But two of the best movies that I saw recently. One was called Saltburn. It's now on Amazon Prime. It's a little bit strange movie. It's a little weird, but I highly recommend it. I'd give Saltburn a 8.7. That's how much I liked it. It was just a really well made. It's like I couldn't stop watching it. I was locked in the whole movie. But
Saltburn? Tell
yeah,
me just quickly what's that what is that?
I don't know if you like it, to be
Oh,
honest.
wait a minute. Yeah, you know what? Forget about it. You told me before. It's not my kind of movie. Go ahead.
Dude who's
Go
like
ahead. Yeah,
it's
not that. Go ahead.
the guy at
Forget
Oxford,
about it.
the guy at Oxford University who's like
Oh, Christ,
obsessed
so
with
he's
this
going to
other
tell me
rich
about
guy,
it. Okay.
and then like
I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
yeah, he's like obsessed with this other rich guy, and like they become friends, and there's a whole story to how they become friends, and then he lives on his estate, and like it's just crazy shit starts happening. It's really
Right.
intense.
That's cool.
But
What
this
about the
guy
other movie?
Barry Geo Barry Keo I don't know how to pronounce his name. Keoghan. Um, it's Joe. It's Keoghan. How do you pronounce that? Keoghan.
Keo
Keoghan.
Kogan.
Is that Kogan?
I would think it.
It kind of
Keo.
makes sense, Kogan, because it's
I
EO.
think the E is kind of the E is negligible. I
Anyway,
think
he's a
it's
really good
Kogan. I
actor.
guess. I don't know.
He had a really strong performance in this. But
All
anyway,
right.
the other movie that I really liked a lot, um, really good. It's called The Iron Claw. Zac Efron's in it. It's
Yeah.
about it's a real story about a wrestling family called the Von Erichs and how they're cursed. I thought it was just gonna be a wrestling movie, and you find out quickly that the movie's more than wrestling. It's about a family that has deep struggles and deep issues, and stuff happens, and it's really intense, and it's all true. I give the Iron Claw a 9. That's how much I liked it. I'll give it a round number 9. It
Yeah,
was it
that's
was
what I'm going to see.
so those are the couple movies that I saw, but let's focus on the lyrics real quick.
Oh
All
yeah, that's our jam, man. That's what we like. All
right, so
right.
the lyrics. All our times have come, here but now they're gone. Seasons don't feel the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. That's Blue Oyster Cult, 1976 song off their album Agents of Fortune. Every this song was also this is what inspired me is I love this song, but this song was featured in the Iron Claw, the movie I just talked about.
Right.
Um, I just every time I hear this song, it just makes me think it makes me wish I lived in the 70s because this song is like timeless, man. And the lyrics to me is just like it's like, okay, all our times have come, life's happening, right?
Yep.
They're here now, they're gone later, but there's a reaper. Death is gonna come. Eventually, death is gonna come get you. Everyone's gonna die one day, right?
Yep.
Don't fear the reaper because season, I mean, the wind, the sun, the rain, seasons, they don't fear the reaper. Let's be like the wind. Let's be like the sun. Let's be like the rain. Let's be like the different seasons. Let's not fear death. Let's pretend like, oh yeah, death is happening. Let's not fear the reaper. And then there's more to the song. Obviously, there's more of a story. There's more like real meaning behind it. But to me, it's about not fearing death, and also it has a positive vibe to it. And the beat and the instruments is fantastic, man.
Okay, and here's the thing. Here's the thing with me. I'm with you mostly. All our times have come. Now, all our times have come. To me, it's not like, well, your number's up, your time has come. Time has come. All our times have come. It's like, wow, your time has come. You're here. You're living on this planet Earth. You know, you were born and your time has come to live on planet Earth, to enjoy your life. Here, but now they're gone. Here, but now they're gone. Life is ephemeral, right? It's fleeting. I mean, our lives, our 75, 80 years that we live on this planet, really, in comparison to how long everything else has been here, our little 75, 80-year lives are like a nanosecond, a nanosecond. So it's our lives are that ephemeral, that fleeting. Seasons don't fear the reaper. Go ask the summer. Are you afraid of death? Nah, not really. Not really. The seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the sun, the wind, and the rain. Here's where it gets a little catchy, especially with the song. We can be like they are. Baby, take my hand. You know, we can be like they are. 40,000 men and women every day. We can be like they are. What the song is suggesting is like with Romeo and Juliet, hey, boom, we can be like they are. Let's check out. And it's a song, Sean. It's just a song, but that's what it's kind of suggesting, and suggesting is like, let's get out of here. 40,000 men and women every day. Um, Art can't be excluded just because it's sad. Movies, how many great movies, how many great songs, and this and that. So it's got a sad tone to it. And it's not telling anyone to go ahead and do something like that. As a matter of fact, um, what I'm saying about that is the song itself is a reflection of how bad things can get, and how much pain people can get into. And sometimes you just want the pain to end, you know. But my thing is, and I've told people this, that you're going to be not here longer than you're going to be here by far. You're going to be whatever you want to call it, but you're here when you're born, and you're here till you take your last breath. You're here. You're going to be not here for much longer than you're ever going to be here. So when it's your time to go, it's your time to go, but don't help things along, and don't use a permanent solution to a temporary problem. But the song itself, I'm telling you, Sean, one of the best, in rock and roll history. And who can ever forget, on a funny note, who can ever forget Saturday Night Live with that Joker with the cowbell, with his 6 inches of gut hanging over his belly? Funny shit. Oh, God. Bill, what's his name? What's the guy's name?
You're talking Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell. I said Bill. Will Ferrell. And that was one of the funniest skits. But look, when the song was done, that cowbell is still kind of like, you can hear it. Ding, ding, ding. It's cool. And when that song was playing in the 70s, man, we loved it. We loved it. We sang it all the time. As a matter of fact, I think, and I try to watch the movie Halloween, the original one. I try to watch it like every 3 or 4 years. And it seems to me the last time I watched it was about maybe 3 years ago. But it seems to me there's a scene in it with Jamie Lee Curtis at 18 years old. My God. But she's driving in a car and it's on the radio. And they started to fly. We can become like they are. It was just really cool, man. It's just those things that sticks in your head. But it was a great song. The lyrics are a little bit, listen, like Romeo and Juliet. We can, Shakespeare was a kind of a, Hamlet, to be or not to be. And he had some problems with his family, and his mom was a little bit trashy and so forth and so on. And then his dad died, and he suspected his own. But he said, I'm not going to do this. He felt God was steering him like, tough it out. Just stay with it. And that's what I used to tell people all the time. Just tough it out, stay with it. So it's not that easy for a lot of folks. But the whole notion of that really gets a lot of people like thinking like, you're going to be whatever dead is, you're going to be that. You were that before you were born. You're going to be that after you take your last breath here. So we call it dead, but you're going to be not here, quote unquote, for far, far exponentially longer than you are here. So while you're here, just ride it out, ride with it, but that's all I have to say about that, as
Yeah,
Forrest
man.
Gump would say. All right, bro.
I saw a crazy thing, man, from a Chicago Bulls game
Mhm.
in the 90s. This dude hit a three-quarter, not a half court shot, but a three-quarter full length shot, almost a full court. He made the shot and he won $1 million. And the insurance company that sponsored it was supposed to pay him $1 million, screwed him out of the money. They said because he used to play college, he played college basketball or something like that for like a year or whatever. Because he had some basketball experience, that was against their rules. So they tried to avoid paying him $1 million. And the Chicago when he made the shot, he hugged Michael Jordan, like he was all excited, like he hugged freaking Michael Jordan after hitting that shot and winning $1 million. Like what? It's crazy, but the Chicago Bulls, they got a lot of publicity. The Chicago Bulls actually made it right. They paid him the money, and I think he took about $50,000 a year for X amount of years, and he's using that to pay like his daughter's college student loans and stuff. So yeah, it had a good ending, but it's just interesting how the insurance company tried to screw him out of the money, man.
Well, yeah, I'm glad it worked out, but yeah, um, insurance companies have been known to do that. You know, um, sometimes they can be really unscrupulous individuals. So,
Dude, I saw a New York, I think it was New York Post. There's a woman who's an ecosexual. She has a relationship with a tree.
check please. No, just what the fuck. Listen, um, listen. I don't want to. What can you say? If she likes the wood, I'm just fucking around. I'm just messing around. Stop it. All right. Who said that? No, I think it's she can have a relationship with anything she wants to, bro, I guess, within reason. Um, but that's really weird, man. That's weird shit. Is she okay though? I mean, has she been
I didn't,
evaluated and all?
I didn't click it and like read more to it. I was just like,
Yeah.
I got to talk about this in the podcast. I just listen to notes. All right, ecosexual tree. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
But then I saw another thing, crazy story. This happens a lot. If now you're on Instagram and stuff, and you get to like see like the videos. They have an algorithm to see like what you'll like the more you
Yeah.
watch stuff, and you see a lot of heartwarming dog videos. And I saw a video of a dog who got lost in the woods and survived in the woods by himself in the woods, like away from like civilization for
Mhm.
6 years, and then like 6 years later, they located the owners, but the owners said they were no longer able to take care of the dog, so they put him up for adoption or something like that. So that was an interesting story, man. Dogs, even though dogs are
Wow.
domesticated, like dogs can survive in the wild, man.
Well, yeah, they're canine, and that they're under the right conditions they could. And I think after a while, their innate they get hungry enough. Their innate ability is like to run down a rabbit or something like that, or to do this or to do that. Did I tell you the story? Did you see the story of the little Jack Russell Terrier out on the West Coast somewhere? I think it was Arizona somewhere, maybe Colorado. But there was a little Jack Russell Terrier that was with a guy in his early to mid 60s, whose owner. And the guy ran into problems, and I think they say he had a heart attack or whatever, but he died out there on a hiking trail. And the dog stayed by his side
Yep, I
for
saw that.
6 weeks. The dog stayed by his side, and the dog was reportedly very defensive of that body, the corpse. When the people came along to he was very protective of it. I mean, dogs are unbelievable. And the dog itself, he lost, those aren't big dogs, the Jack Russell Terriers. He lost quite a bit of weight, but he was, they say another couple of weeks and he probably would have, passed too, just from weakness or whatever. But they got him and they got the dog and they got him back to, I think it was the guy's sister that took the dog, but the dog's doing really well. He misses the owner, which is another, like the one I sent you the other day. Those things are really, I mean, listen, dogs are just incredible creatures. They really, really are, man. We can't say enough about it. That being said, did you get that thing that I sent you? And talk about Instagram really quickly. I'm just new to the thing and I don't, but I do like to watch every now and then this and that. You never know what's going to pop up there. But That joker in Russia out in the middle of the woods sitting on a log next to a grizzly bear, and he had a bowl of cherries and he's feeding the grizzly bear cherries. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
grizzly bears.
I've seen a lot of stories like that, but usually what ends up happening is that bear eventually eats the owner. Like I've seen so many stories where like it's like, you know,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
friggin' bear eventually snaps or something like that.
Yeah. I sent that to someone, and that person said that, and I had the same thought too, that those berries were just an appetizer. We didn't get to see what came next. I don't think I want to see that, but yeah, there was another dude that thought he was going out and making friends with the grizzly bear, like several grizzly bear. He had them named and all kinds of stuff. You know, and the longer he spent around them, he started to name them. This guy was, you
Well,
know.
I saw a crazy video.
Anyway, he's gone. But go ahead.
Oh, did they eat him?
Yeah, it was rough. It was really, really rough.
Rest in peace, sir.
Yeah.
So I saw a video where a golden retriever was surrounded by grown lions, and then there's a backstory to it. Basically, that the lion's like mother or father died or something like that. So the golden retriever like grew up like raising they were like nursing from the golden retriever or something like that. So the golden retriever like raised the lions,
Wow.
and like they grew up together. That's why they were like they're all hanging out together. But then I saw they had to separate the golden retriever from the lions eventually because they didn't know, you know, if the lions would eventually it would be kind of dangerous. But for until those lions got big, that golden retriever was part of those lions' lives. That was, you know, it was basically their mother.
Yeah, that animals are pretty neat creatures. I have a couple of pet peeves I want to go over real quickly
Yeah,
if I
give me
can.
some pet peeves. You fucking
Well, first of
crumb
all, this is an experience I had a while back, but the last time I went out to dinner with some folks to a place and so forth and so on, that it was dessert time, and I don't get out much. You know, I mean, if I go out, that's a treat. That's a cheap meal. That's a, you know. So when I go out to a restaurant like that, I'll definitely want to see the dessert menu, and I get dessert, which is not a big deal. But when the waitress comes around or the waiter comes around and says, "Anybody want to order dessert?" and you get these people say, "Oh no, I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat. Oh well, okay." That's a front, because what happened is they all said this and that, and I said, "Well, I'll take that big the chunk of chocolate fudge cake, that big, the kind of thing." Well, the chunk of chocolate cake came on a plate with like five other spoons on it. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck do I need for? You know, I don't need the. And just for a second, then I thought, okay, and I said something, and they said, well, that's for everybody to. I said, wait a goddamn minute. I said, wait, whoa, whoa. This is my dessert. This is my dessert here. I don't need all these spoons. So I grabbed the spoons and I put them to the side and I started eating. And a couple of the people that were there, I won't mention any names or anything like, but they were looking at me, right? They were looking at me like they were embarrassed for me because, oh, what a glutton, what a hedonistic glutton I am for eating the dessert that I ordered. It's like, when the fuck did dessert become a community endeavor?
Wait,
Right? I
what?
got pissed off. These are family members.
This is
All right.
five. This
So
is
when I
five.
hear this, we'll fight about it. But I love them anyway. But that's just stuff that pisses me off. The last time it happened, it was some family members. But Sean, you go
Oh,
out.
wait, wait. Let me backtrack here.
Yeah.
So you're saying this happened at family events?
No, it happened at a restaurant with
That's
family
not
members.
okay.
Yeah.
So what restaurant? Five Guys?
No, this was out in the Midwest, and I can't remember the name of the.
Oh, okay. So you were by yourself. Wait, so were you with your family when it happened?
Yeah.
Oh, so
So
they assumed that you were sharing the dessert. Okay, I got you.
yeah, and it's
I zoned
like,
out for a second. I'm watching the Knicks. Knicks are playing the Thunder right now. I was watching the Knicks Thunder when we first started saying, so I missed the beginning. I'm just like, uh,
okay.
so yeah, dude, I know what you're saying. So basically, like they were kind of like judging you because you ate the dessert. How big was the cake?
It was just a nice chunk of cake, but it was my dessert that I ordered. Everyone else had an opportunity to order dessert, and they were all fronting like, "Oh no, I don't want any of this now. Oh,
Oh yeah,
I
dude, that
couldn't."
happens all the time. If you're at a restaurant, especially if you're sitting at a table and there's a waiter, like one of those things, they sometimes they assume that you're going to share the dessert. Yeah, I get you.
Right? And I get the point, but when I say, look, yeah, everyone had the chance to order dessert. No one ordered it. I don't need these spoons. I should be able to do that in peace. But they were looking at me like almost like they were embarrassed for me, and I'm thinking, you fucking people are out of your skull. You really are.
Were you the only one? Was your family looking at you weird too?
That's who I'm talking about, dude.
Oh, so I thought you were saying even the word.
Maybe
I
if
thought
you
the
listen to me and stop looking at the basketball game, maybe you, okay, all right, okay. You know,
Yeah.
other thing that pisses me off, my partner looking at the fucking basketball game when I'm going over my list.
Well,
That's
that
what
was the whole
irritates
thing.
me.
That was the whole thing. Doing the show tonight, where I'm like, yeah, we'll do the show tonight. I know the Knicks are playing at 8 o'clock, but yeah, let's get a show in, man. But
Right.
I
Now
knew
I
like,
say this tongue in cheek, Sean, but on the real, please listen to me.
yeah, so I know exactly what you're saying. So yeah, dude, that's a pet peeve of mine too. Like that's happened to me too. Like I'm the only one who gets. Usually, what I do is like, is anybody else getting dessert? If no one else is getting dessert, then I feel bad that I don't get dessert. But there's been times where like I don't know. I feel like yeah, you're being judged if you're eating like you're eating. I don't know. I
Yeah,
that's
it's like
yeah.
it's a cheap meal and it's like it's a big deal. It's not like it's so if you go out to a restaurant, you treat yourself, and I'm thinking to myself, if you really want, I mean, it's like if four other people are going to come at this piece of cake with a spoon, why don't I just give this to you four and I'll order one for myself? I mean, why don't we do that instead of playing games? And it's these people, and I love them, but it's like, and it was just one of the things that pissed me off that basically, and it's not just but I've noticed it before that dessert somehow is now like sits, it's like moving more toward the center of the table and everybody gets a friggin' fork and everyone whoa, whoa, whoa. You order what you want for dessert and I'll order what I want. This eating off each other's plate and bullshit like that, it irritates me. The next thing. All right, the next thing, and guys know what I'm talking about. You walk into a men's room and smells like really strong urine smell, and you walk over to the urinal, Sean, and instead of seeing a nice pristine little urinal cake there, there's a puddle of urine piss in the urinal
Yeah.
that's been sitting there apparently by the smell in the room because let me tell you something, people, you leave that laying for a while, it's going to get humming. Well, you open that men's room door and take two steps in, it's like, holy good God. And then you find out some joker pissed like last week and left it laying there. Listen, guys, if for some reason if for some reason you can't flush or whatever, have someone do it. But there is no reason to walk away from a urinal and leave that there. All right. Especially if it's not broken. If the urinal's broken, okay, then there's an issue. But if the urinal's not broken, like if I walk up to it and I hit that lever and it goes, whoosh, okay, that's not broken. So that's not an excuse. Guys, look a little further than the end of okay. Um, this thing here, I want to make positively clear, Sean, that you understand me before I go into this. You know how much I love everybody, race, creed, color. I do. You know me through and through. You also know how much I love the Latin culture. I love the Latin culture, almost married into it, was contemplating marrying into it. Had a 2.5 year relationship with a Latin girl. It's not. I got to know her grandmother. When her grandmother went back to Ecuador, I was half a mess. Okay, it was tough. But anyway, I wanted to preface everything because it's not Latin folks or Latin culture. It's the misuse of their language that bothers me sometimes. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people on TV, okay, reporters on TV that will be speaking and Sean, they'll be speaking, and then all of a sudden, because they come across a word that's has to do with the Latin community, they break into another accent for about 2 seconds, and then they come back out. It's like let's say a guy's name is Sam Jones, white dude, standing out there. Oh yeah, and it was a pleasure being down here for Cinco de Mayo, and I really enjoyed eating the enchiladas. And then he's talking on, and I've heard it was really, really good down here from my friend Hero de Rivera. But and it's this is same dude, but because the word has something to do with the Latin, community or something to do with Spanish, they break into that accent. And this is what I mean. This would be like Wolf Blitzer saying, President Biden next week will visit France, and when he is in France, he will speak to Macron. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's that idiotic to
Yeah.
to have your own voice, and then just because you're talking about a different culture to break into that. I find that, and you know where I find it, and I'm not going to get political, but I find it on the hyper left. It's like, people, lighten the fuck up. And listen, just as much as the people on the far right irritate the living shit out of me, sometimes the people on the far left can irritate the shit out of me just as much. I'm not going to get into politics. We're not going to get into politics. It's not what we do. It's not anything that I don't feel as strongly as I did this time last year. I've also found that all I can do, Shawnee, all I can do is go vote on any given November, first week of November, and that I don't want to think about the other political party or those folks. I don't want to think about them in a negative way because I met too many nice people. I've met too many great people. And then come to find out 5 minutes in the conversation through something they said, it's like, okay, well, they're okay. I don't want to feel differently about them. And I don't want that one little thing to alter the way I feel about people. And I don't want to demonize other folks. And I don't want to get that deep into it. And really, it's silly for me. Anyways, if I sit and if I swear at my television every day and curse at it and get pissed off and jump up and down and do all kinds of stuff every day, or I look at the news for 5 seconds and I just smile and I walk out the door and I don't get all engrossed in it. All I can do either way is go push a button on election day. And you know what? I know how I'm going to vote. And the guy across the street that's the opposite of me politically, he's going to vote the way he's going to vote. But you know what? He's a good dude. I hope he realizes the same about me. And let's just go on. Can I borrow your lawnmower, Charlie? Sure. Oh, by the way, I got the shears for you that I borrowed last week. All right. Let's just be, you know what I mean? Let's stop using that to demonize people just because they don't see the world exactly the way that we do. So, I just wanted to get into that. But that changing of the voice, oh my God. I heard one lady, she was on, she's like, oh yes, and several members of and they know community. And it's like, whoa, what the fuck? You don't have to break into that just because you're using it. All right. Next thing is the Washington Redskins. They will always be the Washington Redskins to me. I don't know what the hell the commander thing is supposed to be. I don't know what the next name is. But there's nothing wrong with saying Redskins. There's nothing wrong because they didn't suggest anything derogatory about their mascot. They said, "This is our mascot. We hold him high. We hold him in praise. We glorify him. We worship him. He is the red." So to me, that team's always going to be the Redskins, okay? And as far as again, the people hyper out there on the hyper left, go find something else to do more constructive than to get too pissed off about a name like the Redskins, all right? Those are my pet peeves. Now I have one more thing written down here. It says misused words, commonly misused words, but I'm going to save that for next episode. It's some of these words, Sean, that people I hear. Look, we all make mistakes, but these things are repeated. I'll give you just a quick example, specifically as opposed to pacifically. I mean, shit like that irritates me to no end. But and I have a list of these words and phrases. I'll get into that next time. But I just wanted to, those are my pet peeves. And I welcome you, Shawnee, to write a couple down when you get them. And it's just something, that one, especially with the voice. Oh my God, that irritates me to no end. But we have, now you can give me, while I'm sitting here now, you can give me a Knicks update. What's going on with that?
All right, so the Thunder are winning 68-58 with 30 seconds left in the first half. Dude, the Thunder are no joke. They have Chet Holmgren. Dude, Chet Holmgren might be better than Wemby, dude. No joke.
Really?
I swear to you. This guy, dude, he was a stud in college, man. Um, yeah, man. I mean, this dude,
Okay.
he played for Gonzaga. Um, and he played 1 year and he was really hyped out of high school. But Wemby's been getting hyped for years and he's foreign and he's taller and stuff. And I think he's tall. I gotta check their heights, man. Um, but no, the Knicks they're playing. Yes, Wemby's 7'4", Chet Holmgren's 7'1". Yeah, so Wemby's 3 inches taller, but they're both friggin' athletic freaks. But anyway, yeah, man, the Knicks are they're hanging in there, but the Thunder have been on fire lately. Like I think last night they beat apparently like they did a pretty good job beating the Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves like are number one in the West. So the Thunder are no joke, man.
Yeah. I heard they got a lot of young talent. So we'll see what the hell
Yeah,
happens.
so, but I mean, I think that honestly, I think that in terms of the Knicks, I think the Knicks are like one piece away from like actually doing something, competing for some sort of, Eastern Conference finals, because Julius Randle, I think we have to figure out a way we got to figure out a way to just upgrade the team somehow. Um, I don't know, man. I'd like to get Scotty Barnes. I also saw a rumor today that this guy Cade Cunningham from the Pistons, who was like a top 3 draft pick a couple years ago, um, he might be available. I don't know. I just think the Knicks are one player away from, they have Brunson, they have Randall, but they need something more. But those Sixers, man, those Sixers could be dangerous if Embiid stays healthy, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, I mean it's addition by subtraction. They got rid of Harden, and Harden's doing well. I'm gonna he's going to have his games, but James is always going to wind up being James. So you just stay tuned to that. But they got rid of him, and it was addition by subtraction. They just like everyone else now had room to breathe and to move around, and things didn't have to go through him. And I mean, yeah, with Embiid and Maxey, um, we're a player away, I think, from a world title. I mean, I think I think it's because even without making a move right now, we're one of the best teams. So they are. And your boy Brunson is, yeah, that team
Brunson's no
that
joke, man.
you guys are only a couple games behind. So and really, I mean, so that you got some bulldogs on that team, man. You got
So
some
I
real,
called
yeah.
I called you a crumb bum earlier. I don't know if you heard me.
I did.
Explain the crumb bum. That crumb bum's kind of a Philadelphia leaning um sort of term of like it's kind of dissing somebody, but you could say it to your friends as like a term of endearment, like
Right.
you fucking crumb bum. And
Right.
that mayor, that the famous video of the mayor of Philadelphia, the former mayor of Philadelphia, what's his name? Frank something?
Frank Rizzo.
Frank Rizzo. Video of him saying the crumb. That's one of the funniest videos I've seen, man.
Isn't that? I'm glad you finally watched it through, and that's real shit, dude. He was the police chief in Philly, and he was the mayor for a long time, and then he was just up on the main line in retirement. He was like, and I guess he got, there were people in a van, news reporters, like keeping an eye on him or whatever, and he didn't like it one day. So bear in mind, he's retired. He's got nothing to do with anything, but he made a few calls, and he got some cops up there. And the rest is history, though. And the other one where he was walking by, this is before he even called the cops. He gets into it with that one reporter, and he calls him. He's like 100 times, like, "You're a crumb bum and you're a coward." And what the hell else did he call him? And you're a lush. I could tell by looking at you, you're a lush. It was just very funny. Frank Rizzo was a piece of work. And the crumb bum thing, yeah, it's old school. But it's like, I think it's cool that you and I resurrected it. You know what I mean? We're helping to resurrect it. Like
I
it's one of
follow
those,
this other podcast,
yeah, crumb bum.
the podcast called Word to the Wise. It's like a Philadelphia podcast. And I noticed in a lot of their posts and a lot of the comments and like they in their captions, they use the term crumb bump. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So then I realized it was like a Philadelphia thing. Then you sent me the Frank Rizzo video and I'm like, okay, this is funny as hell, man. So
You
me and
can't
you,
get more Philadelphia than Rizzo. Yeah, yeah.
we've been calling each other crumb bums. It's pretty funny, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool stuff, bro.
One thing before we go, I guess one story that I saw. There's a video game called Grand Theft Auto. It's a very famous franchise
Right.
on PlayStation. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been in the works for like I think like literally like almost 10 years because Grand Theft Auto 5 was the last one, I believe. There's a hacker. He hacked the game studios and he released information like videos and footage from the game, and it cost the studio like millions of dollars. And the hacker got arrested, and he says he would do it again. He's eager to do it again. So they're putting him in life in a hospital prison. So he's life in a hospital prison because he's a threat to hack the company again. Do you think that's fair to put someone like apparently he's got autism and he's like not really he can't function that well in certain aspects of his life, but would you put someone life in a hospital prison if they're like a hacker? What do you think about that? If they promise to do it again, I guess it's like, what do you do? I don't know. But he's not hurting anybody per se. He's costing companies money, but they deem him to be a threat. Therefore, he has to be in life in prison in a hospital.
There's a lot more information I would need to render a decision here with this thing. It really is, Sean. And I appreciate you coming up with the story and everything like that. But for me to really make any kind of whether I think it's right or not right, or I'd have to have a whole lot more information on both sides of this thing. It seems a little bit harsh, but at some point we gotta stop these malicious jokers that are, that absolutely celebrate doing shit like this all the time. And they get off on it. And I mean, and if he's promising to do it again, I mean, but there are other things. I mean, there are legalities. I don't know. I'd have to have a lot more information. I hope my man just calms down, and I hope they let him go and he calms down and doesn't do it anymore. That's what I hope. You know?
Yeah, man. All right. So before we go, you got anything else final thoughts or anything?
Finish with a joke tonight. How about that? What did the elephant say to the naked man? I said, what did the elephant say to the naked man?
What do you
How do
say?
you breathe out of that little thing? Anyway, good night. Take care, everybody. Drive safely. Tip your waiters and waitresses. I'm out of here. Peace, Sean.
One
Bye-bye.
final thing. On social media, we're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm still doing food reviews. I'm on Sean Review stuff. Instagram, SeanMatthew13, Twitter, SeanMatthew13. The show. We don't know we're doing another episode, but we won't be that long. So thanks everyone for listening and take care.
Nighty night.